While we are at war, Donald Trump is doing his best Paul Simon impersonation. And I don't mean being the greatest songwriter of his generation. I mean he's going to Grace. And yes, Donald Trump spent the day hanging out at Elvis's house while making wild and inaccurate declarations about a war no one wanted. He started without an end goal and is surrendering without any intention, I guess, to actually stop the fighting. Nobody knows what's happening, especially Donald Trump. And it is why this rambling version of our incoherent and cognitively declining president stunned the press into silence with his meltdown at Elvis's home, which he was so excited to visit, as we saw him say right here, home of Graceland. I'm going to see Graceland after this, I think. Is that right? I love Elvis. I never met Elvis. Everyone said, "Did you?" I met them all. I met Sinatra. I knew all of them. I never met Elvis. Sometimes I feel I should tell the little fibs that I knew him well. I love Elvis, but I never met him. But I'm going to go see Grace, and after this, I think. I'm sure it's not going to be a very long stay, but I want to see that. But for years, does Donald Trump know Americans can't afford groceries? What is happening? That was a press conference, by the way, in Memphis, in which Donald Trump was announcing he's going to be sending more of his thugs to beat people up on the street for no point at all. That he's going to be wasting our tax dollars and sending troops into a city to just harass people, try and cause chaos, and give him, I guess, a new story to talk about besides the Epstein files or a war in Iran that could not be more unpopular, I should say. My God, I have Donald Trump brain right now. I'm so used to listening to him lie that even it's getting my own words twisted. But words twisted is a lot of what we saw from Donald Trump actually today, as he just walked around, made everyone uncomfortable, made everyone feel awkward, kind of rambled a bit. When he first got to the house, he was like bragging about all the people he brought with him to waste the time. It only got worse from here, but take a look. He presented Elvis the Medal of Freedom. That was a big day. It was a great day. It was a great honor, actually. Thank you. We have some wonderful people outside. We have some of the biggest politicians in America outside, and when they heard about Elvis, they said, "You'll do that." So it's good. How's the house doing? Good. It's wonderful. It really is. It's, Elvis, wanted to live there forever. He's really, does anyone care at all? You brought Mike Johnson and Pam Bondi and Stephen Miller. Like, I think Elvis is probably turning in his grave. You brought Stephen Miller. You brought Stephen Miller. Like, who gives us, I don't want Stephen Miller anywhere near me. What are we doing? Well, quite frankly, I brought a lot of my friends. They work for me. Yeah, but they like me. I promise they like me. Isn't that so cool? Can I get a pat on the back? Can I get a toy? Do you have any toys here? Well, actually, Donald Trump did get a little toy in the form of a fake trophy and a guitar for him to sign to make sure he felt like a very special boy as he asked the media. Well, actually, just take a look. One that had the karate patch on it. Elvis had two eighth-degree black belts in karate. One was in Kino, and that's what this was. He really good, or was it just... Actually, he was really good. He started practicing. Could I have taken him in a fight? I don't know. You might... I think he would have been respectful enough to let you. Yes, he probably would. But he and Bruce Lee really brought... Yeah, he would have been. But he and Bruce Lee really brought karate to the West. Yeah, I've seen it. It's good. It's very Bruce Lee was pretty good, right? Hmm? You having a good time meeting? After. Interesting. It's a little bit different. Yeah, this is a man driven strictly by insecurity. That is Donald Trump's administration. Do you think you could have beat up Elvis? What type of question is that? You were in the man's home and you're like, well, I love him so much. I wonder if I could beat him up. Would he let me beat him up? That would be so nice of him. Are you aware that I get beast prizes now? I'd like a you want to fight without actually fighting prizes. Well, there is not a shot in hell that Donald Trump has ever been in a fight. And what a shame that is. I wish there was some guy who had like the story of punching him in the face and making actually, I know Kash Patel might bust down that door in a second. And actually, we're going to get to Cash in a minute if I continue that sentiment. But I think, all you all know how I feel. Donald Trump has never been in a fight that he is actually the one who had to get in a scrap over. He'll certainly send Americans to die, of course, for Israel and to distract from Epstein, but he just wants credit, as Donald Trump always does, for something he didn't do. And in this case, it's a fight 50 years ago with Elvis. I don't even know. That is the state of cognitive decline that Donald Trump is in. And of course, he then asks the media, are you having a good time? A good time with what? Like they're watching you walk around and point at things in Elvis's house, make wild statements, and then just whine that people don't like you. And this is when everyone really fell silent. Frank, I'd love to go to Chicago. I'd love to be invited to Chicago. We would get rid of crime in Chicago very easily, but the Democrats don't want to do that. I'd love to go to San Francisco. Would make it something, would bring it back to where it was. And the mayor's working hard. He's a Democrat. He's working hard there. But we could do things that they just can't do. But every place we go in Memphis, I guess you probably heard, the crime numbers are way down. Most of them are down by 75% and more. And within 2-3 months, we have it down to over 90%. So you have to be happy. Elvis would be very happy about that, right? Everyone loves Elvis. I love Elvis. Elvis, they all say, did you know Elvis? So I knew Frank Sinatra. I knew most of them. Unfortunately, I never met Elvis, and that would be one I would have liked a lot, but I do like his music, I will say. So thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming and visiting us. Okay, let's take a look. All right, so welcome to the room. So is Donald Trump's complaint that he's not allowed to go to San Francisco or Chicago and no one's welcoming him with open arms as he calls both of those cities holes and like the worst part of America and sends troops to harass the citizens there? What is this complaint that nobody likes him because he keeps attacking those cities? Do you ever wonder why everybody hates you? And Trump's saying, well, if I just went there, everything would be so safe. That is actually not the case. Donald, you create the crime. You create the chaos. And Donald Trump actually went on to say today that 90% of the crime in America is being committed by 2% of the population. Now, of course, Trump is kind of referencing there a racist trope about black people in America, because of course he is. But if you want to talk about a very small subset of people committing all the crime, how about we look at Donald Trump's administration and his friends in the 90s and early 2000s? Actually, his friends extending on. Everyone in Donald Trump's administration is a criminal. They have some allegations against them. They've committed some financial crime. They've committed some crime on behalf of Donald Trump in this administration. If you want to look at the criminals, just look at Donald Trump's cabinet. Just look at Donald Trump's friends. Hell, just look at the president. He is the biggest criminal of them all. And so if you want to talk about who's stopping crime, who's getting in the way of it, maybe look at the man whining. And the press can't even believe it. What are they there for? What is happening today? Truly, what is happening today? We have masked agents without identification busting into airports with lines 2 hours long because Donald Trump literally rejected funding for the TSA last night. Now rejected Chuck Schumer's proposal, rejected John Thun's proposal, so as people wait in line, they can also get tackled by mass thugs. We have people being arrested. We have people being kidnapped in airports because you don't know the difference between an ICE officer and a crazy person. And actually, that Venn diagram is just like this. It only depends. The difference being who has approval from Donald Trump. And as we go to war, but also not go to war because Donald Trump gets to change his mind every second, we're at grace. And can anyone explain this? How did we get to, honestly, you could have given me a million guesses. Like I could have attempted to guess what would play out today. I'd probably say like war crime, war crime, war crime, financial crime, financial crime, financial crime. A lie about Epstein, Distraction from the files. I don't know. I would have guessed a million things before I would have guessed we were ending up at Grace and for Donald Trump to sign guitars and ask if he could be beat up the king of rock. Like, what are we saying? And this all comes as Donald Trump's goons are advocating for how great he is and how meritocratic his administration is. Listen to Stephen Miller right here. And it wasn't even the worst meltdown. Kash Patel was somehow even more absurd. Nobody could have ever predicted such an achievement would be possible. The second thing I want to thank President Trump for is assembling the greatest national security and public safety team in American history, because President Trump believes in merit and competence in people who get things done. So you look around the table of who President Trump chose for these jobs. You start with Rob, or Gaddy, or Pam, or Pete Cash, Todd, Terry, the whole entire team. What President Trump put together has never been rivaled in history. That's how you get things done. He chooses people based on their skill, their competence, their ability, their determination, their dedication, and their loyalty. And you're seeing the results. So Donald Trump is asking employees at Grace and whether they think, under the pressure of the president asking, he could beat up Elvis. And of course, they have to say yes. Oh, of course, Mr. For President, you could beat up Elvis. And Stephen Miller is screaming about merit. Donald Trump wants an A medal for being able to potentially beat up Elvis, and he's talking about merit. This administration is a joke, and it really would be funny if it wasn't real. If this wasn't real, if this wasn't the life that we were living right now. It is disgusting. And the fact that these people get off and have so much fun at our expense and the expense of people's lives, it is disgusting to watch. Just listen to Kash Patel gloat about how great things are for him right now because of dear leader Donald Trump. And for me, a first-generation Indian American kid whose parents fled a genocide in East Africa to become the 9th director of the FBI. I'm living the wildest dream you could possibly imagine, sir. But it's thanks to you. But more importantly, what I see when I look out across our great partners here in the interagency and our great legislators and our great prosecutors and our great attorney general who has the guts to go out there and make arrests, turn them into prosecutions and put people in prison. You are giving that dream to every single child in the state of Tennessee. You are inspiring the nation and law enforcement to come up and wear the badge and wear the colors of this country and safeguard our men and women for generations to come. This is an enduring mission, Mr. President, because you have made it enduring. Yes, Kash, we all agree with you. The fact that you are in the position you are right now is ridiculous. It's not like a dream, it is like a nightmare. You are not qualified. You put us in harm's way. You spend all your time visiting your country seeing a girlfriend who's likely a massage agent at our expense. We're paying for it, and you don't do your job. So yeah, Stephen Miller, if you want to focus on merit, maybe look at the FBI. I can't. This day was crazy. It's only getting worse. We're going to cover it all. I don't know what to say. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. If you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. The next video that we're going to have coming out, me and Tim Miller are going to make fun of JD Vance, so do stick around for that one. Do hit that subscribe button. Do hit that notification bell because it's going to get better, I can promise. Until next time, y'all, I'll see you soon.